Over the years, Brent Hoitink has turned his garage, Halfass Kustoms, into a must-watch destination for anyone passionate about vintage rides. However, a few months ago, disaster struck. Halfass Kustoms faced a huge setback when a fire burned the garage to the ground while Brent was away on a break from work. While a setback this great could have meant the end of the road for some, Brent Hoitink fought against all odds to keep Halfass Kustoms alive. Join us as we reveal what really happened to Halfass Kustoms. Brent Hoitink, born and raised in southern Manitoba, Canada, is the heart and soul behind the Halfass Kustoms YouTube channel. From an early age, Brent had a deep-rooted passion for cars. His journey began at just 15 when he got his first car, a 1979 Datsun 280ZX. By 18, Brent had acquired his first truck, a 1981 Toyota pickup, and that's where his love for working on junk cars truly ignited. That Toyota truck was more than just a vehicle. It was the catalyst for Brent's lifelong hobby of modifying and restoring old cars. While fixing cars never started as a career path for him, it was always a passion. Before Halfass Kustoms came to life, Brent spent his days repairing computers and telephones, but as soon as he clocked out, he would dive into his true love, tinkering with cars in his garage. This genuine love for the craft, combined with his humility and down-to-earth personality, is what has endeared Brent to his viewers. However, in 2023, Brent almost lost everything he had worked for. While he was away from the garage attending a car event, Brent received a phone call that threatened to spell the end of Halfass Kustoms. The day was April 29, 2023. Brent and his partner Esther were coming back from a hot rod road trip to the Lone Star Roundup. They were somewhere in Montana when they got the call from Brent's brother that the shop was on fire. Stuck on the road miles away from everything he held dear, all Brent could do was head home as fast as humanly possible. Unfortunately, what he and Esther arrived to see was a garage that had completely burned to the ground. Brent made a post on Instagram regarding the incident saying, "This has been a hard one to post, but it's been a week. While on holiday, this happened. Thankfully, no one or animals got hurt. Anyway, we're in the process of cleaning up and getting myself a little more work done in my old shop so I can daddle away at a few things and keep my sanity while we plan to rebuild." Brent made a video just the day after the incident, mentioning that it's not the kind of video he ever wanted to make.
What you see is what's left. There's not a whole lot. Actually, very little. I don't know what to say.
Unfortunately, there was nothing he could do to save the garage, and all he could do was wait for insurance. The garage suffered extensive damage, and while Brent mourned the loss of his project cars and tools that were in the garage, he was grateful that they were all things that could easily be replaced. Brent admitted that the incident was one of his biggest fears, and he was very devastated to see it come to pass. It's believed that a malfunctioning car part had started the fire. For Brent, the most painful part of the accident were the humorous small things that couldn't really be replaced. In the video, Brent promised that he was going to rebuild because the show must go on. In the meantime, he apologized that the channel's content would be a little messed up for a while. After the fire, Brent set up shop in his old shop, while his stepson organized a GoFundMe for the garage against Brent's wishes. The GoFundMe, which has since been disabled, raised 90,547 Canadian dollars. Undeterred by the loss of his garage, Brent Hoitink went right back to work. The insurance payout and the money raised for the GoFundMe meant that he could build a bigger and better garage. He also improved on some of his tools, making them better than ever before. One of those was his homemade power hammer, which had been damaged in the fire.
I think we're going to try to fix said power hammer, I think.
Power hammer, right?
Yeah. This thing's pretty buggered up, so we haven't quite got a full game plan. I think we're going to take another differential like I've done.
With the help of his brother and some outside help, Brent was able to get Halfass Kustoms back on running again, and he made sure to document the rebuilding process on the channel for his fans and viewers to see. While the construction of the new garage was going on, Brent worked on fixing up some of his fire-damaged cars, like the 1935 Dodge Coupe, and also moved his parked cars to a different part of the property so it wouldn't hinder the construction of the new shop. Since the devastating fire, Brent Hoitink has experienced an unexpected surge in support, leading to even more subscribers and views for his content on Halfass Kustoms. With the help of insurance and the incredible generosity of his viewers, Brent has been able to continue pursuing his passion for car restoration and fabrication, sharing his journey and expertise with a growing audience. Brent doesn't pursue his passion for fixing cars alone. He has a brother who helps him out every now and then and shares his life with his partner, Esther, and their 2 dogs, Buddy and Pablo. Despite being self-taught, Brent is no novice when it comes to fixing cars. With over 2 decades of experience under his belt, he has mastered the art of car restoration and modification. And even though he might jokingly call himself an old guy, his passion for cars burns as brightly as ever, thanks in no small part to the unwavering support of his wife, Esther. Brent doesn't just restore cars for the sake of perfection, he's the king of good enough and encourages his audience to build cars they're capable of, then hit the road and enjoy them. Unlike many who restore vintage cars as pristine showpieces, Brent displays his vehicles to be daily drivers, machines meant to be driven, not just admired. One of Brent's mottos, don't work on something for the next 25 years, never to finish it because it isn't perfect. Get it done, have fun, and drive the hell out of it, perfectly encapsulates his philosophy. His 1950 Chevy Bare Metal is a shining example of this approach, a car built not just to be admired, but to be driven and enjoyed every day. When you first lay eyes on Brent Hoitink's 1950 Chevy, affectionately nicknamed Bare Metal, you might think he has a vendetta against paint, but that's not the case. Brent actually intended to paint Bare Metal, but his patience ran out long before the paint could go on. When he first encountered the car, it was a battered, yellow enamel-covered pile of junk. Even his wife, Esther, couldn't see any potential in it. She thought Brent had finally lost it and that the only fitting place for this rusty relic was the scrapyard. The car came into Brent's possession as a gift from a friend, who was ready to send it to the junkyard as an empty shell. The Chevy had seen better days. The dashboard and interior were stripped, and the original engine was seized beyond repair. But for Brent, it was a diamond in the rough, exactly the kind of project he loved to sink his teeth into. Brent worked his magic on Bare Metal, starting with the front end, where he attached the lower half of a 1955 Oldsmobile bumper to replace the missing original. To finish off the front grille, he welded together a pair of aluminum bats, an inventive touch that only Brent could pull off. The rest of the Oldsmobile bumper found a new home on the rear of the car. Instead of covering the bodywork with a fresh coat of paint, Brent decided to leave the car in its bare metal state, proudly displaying the craftsmanship that went into its resurrection. To get Bare Metal up and running, he installed a Chevy 350 small block engine from a 1978 Chevy Shag & Wagon and fitted a 3-speed automatic transmission donated by his neighbor. While most people see Brent's creations as rolling works of art, he sees them as machines meant to be driven. To add a bit of flair to Bare Metal, he opted for simple green and black pinstriping around the headlights and taillights and hand-painted hundreds of rivets along the metal seams. He finished it off with a banner across the back that read, "Bare It All." Bare Metal has become a head-turner at every car show Brent attends, always drawing admiration for its raw, industrial look. Bare Metal is just one of Brent's numerous creations that are running and driving like they were initially built to.